Welcome to News to Me, the Stoopid news comedy game show. I'm your host, Mark Archuleta. Tonight, 3 comedians are going to be competing for the right to perform the headliner set to close tonight's show. Now, they're going to earn points by making funny responses to real but stupid news stories. Now, they can be funny or punny or snarky, whatever it takes to make you laugh and encourage me to award them the points. Got it? All right, let's meet our comedians. All right, I want each of you to introduce yourselves and then complete the sentence, I knew my life was going horribly wrong when, and I'll give you an example. Hi, my name is Mark Archuleta, and I knew my life was going horribly wrong when I came out of the womb and realized both my parents were Hispanic. Comedian number 1.
My name is Rachel Meredith. I knew my life was going horribly wrong when my first television appearance was portraying myself on an episode of Snap.
Number 2. My name is Sebastian Corley, and I knew my life was going horribly wrong when I tried to hit the snooze button on an Amber Alert.
Comedian number 3. My name's Chuck Price, and I knew my life was going horribly wrong when my first home purchase had 4 wheels on it.
Okay, let's get started. Round 1. I'm going to read you a real but stupid news story, and you're going to have to come up with a funny comment. Okay? Meet Ashley King and Joe Berger. When they decided to get married, their newspaper announcement read, Burger King Wedding. This photo shows the two of them reacting to the news that the Burger King restaurant chain will be paying all of their expenses for a Burger King themed wedding.
A burger-themed wedding is perfect for the bride who wants to include something old, something new, something borrowed, and something that causes diabetes.
I love the picture because you can tell this is this guy's childhood dream come true. And you can tell she's just embarrassed going, I hope they're not catering it.
He looks a little like you, though. Throw your head back and laugh. Chuck.
All right. Burger King also said they'd cater their both funerals, if they decide to name their firstborn child Whopper Jr.
Here are Joe and Ashley at their wedding wearing their Burger King crowns. This picture reminds me of another royal wedding. Oh, yes, of course. Very nice. Same crown, I think. I'm going to award Rachel first, Chuck second, and Sebastian third. All right, news story number 2. In Indiana, a thief stole $18,000 worth of Axe body spray and shampoo. Sebastian, you're first.
He said $18,000 worth of Axe body spray. Unfortunately, not even all that soap can cover up the smell of pork.
Did you say pork or porn?
That was wishful thinking on your part.
All right, Chuck.
The thief was later found mauled to death at a nearby strip club.
Okay, Rachel.
Well, I couldn't come up with anything, but I know who the thief was. It was my Tinder date from last night because he smelled like he was wearing $18,000 worth of Axe body shampoo.
Okay.
Sebastian first, Chuck second, Rachel gets third. All right, story number 3. A mom in Sweden wanted a tattoo to show the world her pride in her children, Nova and Kevin. Unfortunately, the tattoo artist misspelled the son's name as Kelvin. Chuck, you're first.
This is why you don't use a Groupon for tattoos. Rachel!
Oh, well, this goes to show why you never have a Cockney guy make your tattoo. See, this is what I bet happened. He said, "Hey, you want me to get this L out of here?" And she said, "No, I want you to finish my dang tattoo."
Why a Cockney guy? This is Sweden.
Unfortunately for her, you can't laser off your child's shame. That's
Rather than go through the painful removal process, the mom just decided to rename her son Calvin. All right, Rachel first, Chuck second, and Sebastian third. All right, now it's time for mini game number 1, and we call this Roast the Host. The comedians are going to have to come up with some kind of rude comment about yours truly. There won't be any points awarded in this round, but the winner will be able to either swap scores or go last in the next round. All right, Rachel, you're first.
Okay, so Mark wanted to be a big host. He wanted fans on every coast. He wasn't that good, so he crawled back to the hood, and that is the end of my roast.
All right, Sebastian.
Clap if you know Mark for a while. Mark Archuleta. If you know him for a while. And you guys know that he used to have a killer mustache, right? Like, whenever he would, I love when he had the mustache, because whenever he'd go near a school, he really put the panic in Hispanic.
All right, Chuck.
This is actually pretty hard because I have a lot of respect for Mark. I mean, he's like a really talented actor that he just doesn't get the credit, like in Hollywood, that he deserves. I mean, there's so many roles out there he'd be perfect for, like valet parker guy, or like groomsman at a mafia wedding, or what else do we have here? Blackjack dealer. There's so many opportunities.
What do you think, Rachel? Chuck, I think you won that round. You have your choice. You can either switch scores or you can go last in the next round.
I will take Sebastian's.
All right, you just picked the lower score. All right, there's a strategy there somewhere.
You guys ready for round 2?
You guys are going to be shown a photograph, but this time I'm not going to give you any context, and you just are going to have to come up with a caption. Now, I have been way too easy on you guys, so this time you're going to have to come up with 3 captions. All right, here's our first news photo. We see a woman, and she's smiling. She's putting a pacifier in a newborn baby's mouth, and the baby is wearing a graduation cap and gown.
Okay, the first one. Is he crying because he's a baby or because of his student loans?
Well, we should have checked with each other. We both get the same point. See? No, this is a mother and son celebrating the child's graduation from Uterus U. That's.
Woman gives birth to baby wearing a hat. Scientists stunned.
And just like my college grad night, right after this photo, he went straight for the bottle.
Baby learns at young age that black is the most slimming color.
Benjamin Button finally gets a degree just before he dies.
Well, is that this kid's going to be disappointed when he starts looking for a job because, as you know, nobody puts baby in a corner office.
The mom is smiling because she doesn't know that she'll be pacifying that child until it's 30.
Just goes to show anyone can get a degree from the University of Phoenix.
What do you think, Rachel?
Chuck. Chuck won that one. So make a Chuck, Sebastian, Rachel.
We are doubling the points in round 2. Next news photo. In this news photo, we see a young boy and a sheep. 3 captions. I didn't say it would be easy.
What happens when the sheep start counting back?
Chuck.
That's how you learn about the birds and the bees in Arkansas.
Rachel.
Even in Kelvin's youth, it was easy to pull the wool over his eyes.
Sebastian.
Apparently the sheep never heard the phrase "ba" means "ba."
Study shows counting sheep will put your kids to sleep. Got the 1.
Rachel.
This cruelty-free wool movement's getting out of control.
Here we see a sheep trying to get hired by the Catholic Church. Catholics are right answer.
Hoover, Kansas has a new form of transportation.
Rachel.
This is still legal in 5 states and the District of Columbia.
Sebastian. Chuck. Rachel. Story number 3. This news photo is not photoshopped. We see 11 goats in a tree, 1 black, and all the other are white. 3 captions. All right, this time we are going to start with Chuck.
Newly found goat tree throws Darwin's theory of evolution out the window.
Rachel.
Yeah, I never get my goat tree to bloom like that.
Sebastian.
It's just like that old phrase, the goat doesn't fall far from the tree.
Chuck.
Goats are really bad at hide and seek. I found it pretty quick there.
I hate when it's barely Halloween and my neighbors have already decorated their tree.
Clearly these goats are backing up the wrong tree.
Chuck.
Whites even copy off the blacks in goat race too.
Rachel.
Well, hey ladies, keep this photo in mind next time someone calls you an old goat. Because they're agile. See? Right.
I like Chuck, Sebastian. Sebastian.
I mean, of course they're climbing trees. They're just doing kid stuff.
Chuck.
Yeah, I deserve that.
Rachel. Sebastian. That was clearly Rachel. Chuck, I'm sorry to say that you have been eliminated.
A moment of silence for me.
Applause for Chuck. All right, we are down to our final two comedians. Remember, whichever comedian survives the showdown round earns the right to close out tonight's show with their headliner set. Now, let's meet our comedians once again, Sebastian Corley and Rachel Marinus. I'm going to present to you a real but stupid news story, and you are going to have to answer a question about it. Now, I don't want the right answer, I want the funniest answer. Okay? Does that make sense? Funniest answer, not right answer. First news item. The Chinese are using LinkedIn, the employment website, to find what kind of workers?
Thank you. Well, obviously they were looking for crazy unemployed Asians.
Community reference. Sebastian.
They were looking for LinkedIn employees.
I don't understand that. According to senior U.S. intelligence officials, Chinese spy agencies are using faked LinkedIn accounts to recruit Americans with access to government and military secrets or expertise in supercomputing, energy, and agriculture. I wonder what they pay. Sebastian. Okay, story number 2. Again, we are looking for the funniest answer. Some Australians, this is the Australian flag, are demanding the British government provide them with blank.
Okay, some Australians are demanding the British government provide them with an explanation for the ending of the movie Inception.
About to lose again. It's fucking good. It's really good. Australia is demanding that the British government provide them with air conditioning.
Since Australia is still considered to be under the British monarchy, Australians are demanding the right to free portraits of the Queen. Who wouldn't? Have to leave it up to you guys. Rachel. Sebastian. I got to give that to Rachel, right? All right, the last one is going to be worth 4 points, which means Sebastian can come from behind. Final news story. The Louvre in Paris offered special viewing to a unique group of customers. What was so unique about them?
Well, they were Las Vegas performers. They heard it was an impressionist museum.
What made them unique is that they were Bob Ross enthusiasts.
No, the special visitors were nudists. All right, this is going to be hard for me, so I need the audience to help me out. Rachel. Sebastian. Rachel's our winner and our headliner. Woo! Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed tonight's show, that's news to me. So long, everybody.